At work danger men, 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 at work danger, German at work danger, German at work danger men, 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 at work danger, men 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 at work.
Well done. That was better than some of my attempts. I only skipped like two bits.
Coming out tomorrow as a charity single on iTunes. Thanks for that one. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Phil still hasn't learned. Wow, after all this time.
My brain doesn't work that way. Thank you for the sympathy.
We all had like a choir of sympathy whenever we have fails in our life. That would be reassuring, yeah?
Sean, Kira, and Jodie, hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you're alright. Any photos you may regret putting in the book?
Any photos we regret putting in the book? You mean basically all of them?
Probably.
It's just a book full of Phil's not looking. Ha!
Yeah.
Take a photo of you while you're blinking.
Literally the first photo of me in the book is the most horrific dirt of me in glasses that you'll ever see.
That's a good one. Okay. This question is from Alicia, who has the tiniest handwriting. It's a very important question.
Okay.
This is for you, Phil. What socks are you wearing right now?
Oh, very important. I am sporting some foxes, which is like all top up, and some sharks, which is not very awesome.
Foxes and sharks! Yeah,
Who would win in a fight?
alright, let's do a couple more. Reach inside that goose, Phil. Get right in there. Okay.
Hannah and Claire, what was your favourite location on tour?
Ooh, I'm gonna go right ahead and say Seattle was so aesthetic. It was amazing. Just like raining all the time, same inside, you know.
I liked the rain.
Good trees.
They were great trees.
A lot of fog. It looked like a Tumblr blog background, but all the time. So I couldn't move there. What about you?
I really like Chicago. I didn't realise I was so into architecture until I got to Chicago, and I was like, look at all the buildings,
Yeah.
they're incredible.
And the whole of Australia, it was just so refreshing to me. We went in the winter, and all the Australians were like, why did you come here? It's cold. And we were like sweating.
Yeah, it was not cold.
Outside. For us, it was like a summer holiday. Yeah. It was good. Alrighty. Which one of you will it be? It's from Emily Flower. Nice second name. Who says, where did you get your sofa from? My mum likes it.
Good question.
We are dealing with the real issues here tonight.
We're going deep with this one.
It's from some. Our sofa is awful. It's
horrible.
Terrible. Like the sofa crease that I have that I Good sofas aren't supposed to permanently dent into the shape of your back when you sit on them, okay? So if you ever go on a website which lets you customize a sofa for like £20, don't use it. That's the Dan and Phil advice.
Lucy said, what is the worst thing about touring for so long in the US?
Ooh.
I think it was lack of reliable Wi-Fi. I mean,
Probably was. Not even joking, like when you can't even like look at Twitter because you're in the middle of Texas, you're just like, what do I do?
what do I do with my life now?
What is life? I literally don't know.
Yeah. Goose.
Do it, Phil.
I've already read that. There's the same one in it.
On the floor.
I'll check it on the floor. It somehow
question.
it refolded itself. Shelby said, tell us a funny story about an interaction with a local. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so we were staying about one time a week on the US tour. You were allowed to stay in a hotel, and we were staying in one in Chicago. And I brought like an SD card to Dan's room or something, and I was going back to mine, and I got in the lift, and I pressed the button for a lift, and the lift opened, and there was a couple, a man and a woman, aggressively making out against all the
Can you imagine?
It was about 1 in the morning, and I don't know what went through my head, but so the lift opened, and I just stepped in with them.
Let them move.
I've gone too far now. I was already stepped into the lift. So he had the like against the lift with the legs over the buttons. So I I just said, don't mind me. I reached under her armpit. And pressed the floor that I wanted to do. And I just stood there not saying anything.
What were they? Did they just continue making out?
They weren't making out, they looked very annoyed that I decided to get in with it.
They were having like,
They were having a
the movie where they were like, we're in the thing, we're going to the room, and then imagine Phil
Just
walking
be like,
into sorry, don't mind me, I'm just going to reach under your thighs.
So, yeah, I'm now banned from the Chicago Hotel.
I think that we should do a couple more because this is just going downhill quickly.
Yeah.
See this one here. This is from Jodie, who said, how differently do you think Dapgo would have turned out if you took the photos? We did take the photos.
Yeah, I'd say we took about 70% of the photos in the book.
It's a good mix because we had a guy that filmed those called Mark who took some really amazing photos of the show in Manchester, which is where all like the photos you've seen a million times.
Yeah, there's actually someone I went to school with, and the photos from Manchester were so good. We were like, Mark, do you want to come to America with us and take loads of photos? And he was like, yes. So my friend Mark, just like followed us around and took loads of photos, and they look great.
Yeah, because in the book, if I can just steal this one for a second, there's like obviously all the candid stuff that we took on our phones, but there's also like lots of sections of just high quality photos of the show that are really incredible. So it's like a good mix of professional photography that would actually get published in a book, and then a bunch of ugly selfies from Dan and Phil that makes people.
I think it's the best combination.
It's like the reason people don't want to take YouTube seriously.
Okay. Katie wants to know, what is your biggest regret about YouTube? Oh. Wow.
Is that really the penultimate question? Okay, well, everything.
No, I need to get another one. You gotta say everything.
I can't say everything. I mean, would you say that me telling everything embarrassing I've ever done with my life has helped you in any way? I may regret sacrificing all of my dignity literally forever, but if it was worth it for you, then that's okay.
Okay, Claire and Hannah want to know, do you miss Manchester and the apartment?
What do you think?
I do get nostalgic for Manchester. I've got a lot of friends there, so I do go back. Sometimes I stare up at that apartment and I was like, oh, I like that apartment. It was great.
It was tiny though.
It was.
I went really crazy in 2011 because we just don't go outside.
Yeah.
Like literally ever. So I was like, I'm scratching at the walls. This apartment's so small. Help me. Yeah, it was good. I miss the Manchester city.
Yeah, it's a great city.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting nostalgic. I just miss my breakfast bar.
All this turns into a mess. Let me see one more. Right, here we go. Take it out. An aggressive heckle from the audience. This one is from Keris, who said, oh, this is a good one to end on.
Okay.
Did you ever think that YouTube would take you this far in life? I'm glad you didn't end that on all of the ugly questions about it.
I never thought that Phil from back in the day would even have the confidence to sit on a stage and chat to anyone. Let alone do a whole show with a song and dance number in it. That's a whole other level. So I have no idea that YouTube would take it this
The thing is, everybody, when YouTube started, they're obviously just doing it as a hobby. Like, when all of the YouTubers that have been doing it for a million years started, everyone was just like a bored teenager being like, I'm gonna vlog for no reason. And, you know, that's kind of how we felt at the time. So there was no plan that this would happen.
Yeah.
And it was all just going, hey, well, you know, we've got this creative opportunity. Why don't we do a book? Hey, let's try something new. Why don't we do a stage show? So the fact that this hobby of vlogging to a camera not only is, you know, obviously it's given us our lives and it's like what we do as a job. We feel so lucky and privileged that we get to do that. But the fact that we kind of get to live our dreams and do all these creative, amazing things and also like have a real impact on people's lives, you know, I think I've actually really that is it for me, you know. It's like whenever I'm like, oh, everything's down low, and I get that one email from some 11-year-old that's like, hello Dan, you made me smile today. I'm like,
There we go.
I'm very glad that I discovered YouTube and started wasting all my time on it as a teenager. Yes.
It's also just about not being afraid to take a risk sometimes in life. 'Cause it was a risk to say, this is what I'm going to do with my life, I don't know if it's going to work out. And it did work out, so don't be afraid to try that.
What we discovered from doing The Amazing Cook Is Not on Fire and the stage show is kind of like what we can show from, you know, just like the story of the last 7 years of our lives is that you should not be afraid of just being yourself. You know, it doesn't matter if you're like a weird, nerdy loser or whatever.